Okay, so it's 9:31. Let's begin. Kind of start off sitting down or standing up, completely up to you. Okay, but let's try to maybe loosen up our trunks a little bit first. Okay, so let's just try to stand or sit and just try to get ourselves maybe a little bit taller first. Okay, so imagine pushing the top of your head up to the ceiling. Okay, imagine there's a string on the front of your chest bone and you're trying to pull it up a little bit as well. Okay, without leaning back or overarching the back. Okay, so let's try to get both those parts a little bit taller first. Okay, and then shoulders a little bit more away from the ears. Okay, and shoulders a little wider as well. Okay, so you want to stand tall without being tense. Okay, so try to still be relaxed, maintain that tall posture, and just try to take 4 breaths in. Just don't worry about how right now. Just try to take a couple of breaths. Take a breath in, take a breath out. Try to maintain this tall posture while breathing in and breathing out. So be tall, but not tense up. Okay, so let's loosen up a little bit of our trunk as well. So let's kind of do our usual. So we're just going to tuck our chin down a little bit, bring our chest down slightly. Okay, I think I'm back. Sorry about that. Okay, so breathing out, tucking our stomach in a little bit, and breathing in, holding our shoulders back, opening up as well. Breathing out, and breathing in. Try to squeeze your shoulders back slightly, breathing out. Breathing in. Okay, so let's work on kind of a diaphragm, also trying to move the back a little bit more. Okay, so you're just going to slouch down a little bit. Okay, as you breathe in, try to breathe more into your back area. Okay, so try to feel your back expanding a little bit as you take a breath in. Okay, so just try to take a couple of bigger breaths. Okay, while you're a little more slowed. Okay, just feel maybe a little bit of a back movement. Okay, let's come back up for a second. Okay, same thing, this time try to bring your chest up all the way. So that slightly prevents us from using our chest to breathe. Okay, now you're going to try to breathe more, a little more into our diaphragm. Okay, so put your hand on your stomach as well. Okay, try to, as you breathe out, try to almost suck the stomach in a little bit. Okay, but keep your chest up. Okay, so we're trying to limit the amount of movement we get from the upper chest so that we can focus on breathing in to the diaphragm. Chest up a little bit more. You can lean back slightly if you want to. Okay, let's see if you can take a big breath in and you feel your belly expanding a little bit more. As you breathe out, let's see if you can lightly pull your stomach in. So we're just trying to move the diaphragm kind of all the way down as we take a breath in. As you breathe out, so they come back up. 3 to 5 deep breaths. Okay, so might feel a little bit of tension in the stomach area as you try to hold it better. Okay, let's try to relax the shoulders a little bit more as well. Okay, so let's try to squeeze in. So I'm going to squeeze, okay, and I'm trying to intentionally relax it. Okay, so try to take a breath in as you move your shoulders up. As you breathe out, just try to almost do a sigh, like a, and then just try to relax the tension in your shoulders, even lightly pull them down. Okay, so now take a breath in. intentionally kind of squeezing the muscles between the, on the top of the shoulders. Okay, and try to completely relax the shoulders. Now, a lot of times we might be unintentionally kind of holding tension here and just trying to relax it. Okay, let's try one more time. So breathing in, squeezing the shoulders up towards the ears. Okay, and try to relax. Okay, let's move the chest a little bit more, just so that we're not restricting ourselves. Okay, so just moving our shoulders front to back a little bit. Okay, still trying to take a bigger breath in, still trying to stay tall while you're doing so. Okay, so do this a little bit more slowly if you need to. Imagine you're trying to push something up from the back of your head. Full breath in and a full breath out. Okay, let's rotate a little bit of the trunk. Okay, still staying tall while you're doing this. Okay, also still a big breath in. Pull air back out, so full breath out, a little bit sucking in the stomach as you blow the air out as well. Okay, just trying to move the diaphragm still a little bit more. Okay, a little bit of side bending, okay, so just in the side, you can imagine reaching down, you can imagine reaching up. Breathe in. Okay, try to breathe a little more to the side. Okay, breathing out like that. Same thing on the outside. Okay, once again, you don't even need to lift the hands up. You can kind of reach downwards as well, okay, but still try to breathe into the side. That's being a little bit stretched. Okay, if this makes you feel lightheaded, just do it slower. Take it as long as you need in between. Okay, same thing on the outside. Okay, probably slow down the exhale as well. Okay, so like you're doing like the back of the throat, almost close it a little bit, just to slow down exhale, or you can blow through like a whistle in the mouth or like an O shape in the mouth to slow down exhale if it's making you a little bit lightheaded. Okay, so just try one more time this time. So still breathing in, reaching in, and maybe slowly breathing back out. Same thing on the outside, just one last time. So breathing in, like breathe into the area that's a little bit, maybe you might feel a little bit of stretch in. So the open side this time. Yeah, now slowly. Okay, so this time we're going to do the opposite. So we're going to turn us, if you don't have back problems, don't overdo this one. If you have osteoporosis, also don't overdo this one. Okay, but you can try turning, kind of leaning sideways a little bit and turning more into it. So you're kind of compressing kind of the closed side now. So before we're trying to breathe into the open side. Now we're going to try to breathe more into the closed side. Okay, so we're going to turn one way, side bend a little bit, okay, and try to breathe into this side. Okay, so breath in, use the hands to try to feel your body to breathe more in this area. Maybe just 3 to 5 breaths. It's a little bit more difficult to feel, but apparently we can kind of control which side of the lung, which side we breathe more into, which area we kind of breathe more into. But usually there's a little less space here, so trying to move more this side. So let's try a couple of times on this side. Mostly just pay attention. Doesn't necessarily have to feel like a lot. Maybe just feel your ribs expanding a little bit more on this side. Okay, it's through the back. Okay, so let's shake everything out. Okay, this. Let's put our hands behind our back just to open back up. So just slightly behind. Try to open up the chest a little bit. Okay, so we're not tightening in front. Okay, be careful you're not overarching again. So try to level off your pelvis a little bit. Okay, so most people might pull the tailbone down a little bit. Okay, still stay tall. Okay, so chest pull up, back of the head kind of pushing up as well as much as we can. Okay, let's try to take a couple of breaths in. Okay, this time try to breathe more into the chest. Okay, so a really big breath in. Okay, you might feel a little more of a stretch on the front of the chest area. So try to use the top of the chest, top of the ribs to open up, drawing the air in, and to breathe out. The shoulders should come back down, chest should come down a little bit. So slightly holding our shoulders back, elbows back, feeling a little bit of stretch in the front of the chest. Okay, let's try couple more times. A big breath in into the chest area this time. Okay, once again, we slowly let the air back out, but can't pull all the air out of our lungs. Okay, 1 or 2 more times at your own pace. Start to feel kind of tingling down the arms. Shake it out a little bit. Just relax the shoulders. Okay, so kind of mostly just to maybe open up the chest area a bit more. Yeah, actually, let's do one last one. So this one, just have your hands in front. Okay, and just tuck your chin down slightly. Push your shoulders forward, your fists forward. And just try to breathe more into the upper back area, or just kind of pay attention. So maybe suck your stomach in a little bit. And try to almost breathe into your shoulder blade area a little bit more. Most people are not very tight there, but you might feel a little bit of movement in between your shoulder blades. Just 3 to 5 breaths. Okay, and come back. So, do the opposite a little bit. Try to pull your shoulders back now. Okay, but just try to breathe into different parts of the trunk. Okay, so now let's work a little more in the diaphragm area. So let's sit down for this one. Okay, so first one, let's still try to just take a couple of breaths in again. So try to feel where we're breathing in, okay, which part of the body is moving as we take a breath in, as we take a breath out. Okay, so just kind of direct your attention more towards our breaths for now. Okay, still try to you can play around, just play around a little bit, see if you slouch a little bit. And you can pay attention to how big of a breath you can take. In comparison, if we are sitting a little bit taller, so chest a little bit higher up, shoulders a little wider. In comparison, see how that breath might feel different. You pay attention to just the rest of the body. If we are still tensing up in the shoulders, you see we can tense up a bit for the shoulders. Which kind of just directing our attention away from maybe our thoughts and just more to our breathing. So which part is moving? How hard is the movement in? How cool? Okay, where am I still tensing up? Okay, which part butt do I feel like I'm sitting on? Okay, is it closer to the back? Is it closer to the front? I think just paying more for now, without really criticism or judgment. So let's still work on the diaphragm a little more. So we do the telescopic breath. So we have kind of a thumb looking back, or just kind of anywhere on the thighs really. But as you take a breath in, see if you can make yourself taller. Okay, so you can almost lightly press down your hands and try to just remind yourself to get yourself taller. As you take a breath in, just take a breath out. See if you can lightly pull yourself in while maintaining this height. Okay, so use your hand to remind yourself. Just lift the chest up, back of the head up. Think of pulling your spine upwards. Breath in. Breath out. Just at your own pace. Try to get all the air out. Slightly pull the stomach in, maintaining the height. Okay, 3 to 5 deep breaths. Any points if you feel like you need to stop, you could get out of it. If you dizzy at any point, go back to your regular breathing. If your back is starting to ache, you could get out of it as well. Okay, so just always pay attention to how you don't too pressure to continuing if it makes you feel well. Okay, so now a little more difficult. Let's try to move your ribs a little bit. Okay, so for this one, you can either use a band, okay, so that might be a little bit easy to feel. You can use your hands if you don't have it, just maybe a little harder to reach around. Okay, but so either kind of just find your lower ribs, lower 2 ribs. You can have hands around. You can also do it this way as well, okay, or a little more comfortable. You can kind of tie the band around just the lower part of your ribs. I think a little bit just below your chest bone, your sternum area. Okay, it doesn't have to be very tight, but just enough so that you can feel it pressing in maybe a little bit. Just use, give you something to kind of press against. Okay, so still kind of taller first. Let's see if you can almost, it would be easy if you could take a breath in, okay, while trying to almost press out against the band a little bit. If you kind of control it, you can also kind of just go out, really breathing in. Don't want to show some camera, but try to breathe more into your ribs. So breath in, try to open up the ribs. As you breathe out, just let the band pull you back in while maintaining your posture. It's 45 breaths, just paying more attention to what our ribs are doing. Pay attention to what the back is doing as well. So your ribs kind of wraps around from the front to the back. So technically it opens up like umbrella. Side to side, also front to back a little bit as well. So direct your attention a little bit more towards the back. Let's see if you can just feel any back area. So we kind of want a 360 expansion of the ribs. Okay, so now a little bit more difficult. Okay, so we're going to try to take a breath in into the belly area. As you breathe out, you try to start sucking your stomach a little bit. Okay, if you can, after you suck the stomach in, see if you can expand your ribs out. Okay, so it's a little bit dark here, but it's not. Just kind of stuck your stomach in as you take a breath out. Okay, try to expand the ribs a little bit. Just hold it there for half a second to a second. Just relax your belly and take a breath in. Okay, so still trying to move the diaphragm a little more, move the ribs a little bit more. Just adjusting the band so it's slightly higher. Okay, so and once again reset if you need to. Okay, so once again, full breath in. See if you can breathe a little bit better this time. Okay, for your ribs expand a little bit as well. As you breathe out, feel your stomach kind of coming in. You can intentionally pour it in a little bit as well. You can see if you can expand your ribs a little bit more. Okay, wait for half a second to a second. Okay, relax. Breath in. And maybe just do a couple of breaths. Make sure you feel okay. And when you're ready, let's do it. The second in and then expanding the ribs. It'll be 3 to 5 times. Okay, so let's try a couple of times just so you don't get. You don't have to rush, or if you don't feel well, just take a couple of normal breaths first. So when you're ready, full breath out, second in your stomach. Open up the ribs. Pause for half a second to a second. Relax. And then the breath in. Just going to do one last time for myself. Do a bit more out. Expand the ribs up a little bit more. Relax those muscles. Relax back out. Okay, get breath in. Feeling that belly expand, feeling that ribs expand as well. Okay. Back out. Okay, so still kind of being just more consciously being able to move our ribs. So without a band, let's just try to take a full breath. See how it feels. A little bit harder to feel my rib movement without band. Give me some sense of no. Just try to direct your attention back to the diaphragm, to the ribs. Please see if you can just kind of feel it moving. You know, it might not be much height as well. If I just put in more attention to those areas. The height. So chest slightly up. I think holding the spine up to the ceiling. Shoulders be slightly wider up. So not squeeze back, which is more narrow. Just a little bit wider. So not forward, which is also more narrow. Just a little bit wider. So let's get this to a breath again. Belly be expanding a little bit as you breathe in. Your ribs will be expanding a little bit as you breathe in as well. Okay, as you breathe out, you will be both of them coming back body. Okay. Just enough tension so that you're still staying tall. Shoulders is kind of relaxed. So now let's try to kind of make our breathing a little bit lighter. Okay, so put your hand on the stomach and your chest if you want to, or if you still feel the diaphragm moving and the first moving, then just continue. Okay, but try to make your breath a little bit lighter. So the same saying. So actually your nose hair not even moving as you take a breath in. Same thing as you breathe out. It's a very light breath, probably be a more not as full of a breath. Just make it a little bit lighter. So first breath is the person beside you cannot hear your breathing. The second step is that you cannot hear yourself breathing. Step would be feel yourself. So at this point, you might start to feel a little bit of air hunger because we are probably breathing a little bit less. So the oxygen level is massive amount tissue, it's fine. You don't lose all the air in one breath. It can also be sitting down if you lose 20% of a breath. So the air hunger you're feeling is carbon dioxide kind of building up in your body. It's not necessarily at that big. It's a little higher than what you're used to. So at any point, if you go back to your regular breathing, please feel free to do so. Pay more attention to what is moving, the diaphragm, the breath. And just try to make the breath a little bit lighter. Try to breathe a little more deeper into. Try to keep talking a little bit because I know my camera restarts sometimes. So right now we're still trying to breathe deep, so that's using the diaphragm, using the ribs. It also push you lighter as well. We're trying to just maybe pace ourselves up a little bit. So we're trying to make the exhale a little bit longer than the inhale. So just pay attention right now, just to your own breath. Head. Okay, so we're trying to do a count. Okay, so we'll do roughly kind of 4 counts in, okay, and then 6 counts. Actually, 4 counts in, 5 counts out. Okay, after you fully exhale, you can pause a little bit, okay, for 1 count, okay, and then repeat 1 more time. Okay, so I'm going to say in, 2, 3, 4, then out, 5, sorry, out, 2, 3, 4, 5. Make it pause for 1 count. Get it in, 2, sorry, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, pause. Okay, so let's try. Give that a try. Okay, so once again, reset. If you need to, your back starts to feel a little bit tense. Feel free to stand up, move around a little bit. Okay, same with neck. Okay, so when you're ready, let's try to go back once again to color posture first. Okay, go back to that deeper breathing, breathing just opening up our diaphragm, expanding as you breathe in. Feel our ribs expanding a little bit as you breathe in. You try to make it a little bit lighter, so you cannot hear your own breathing. And then you try to slow it down a little bit. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 4, 5, pause, in, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, pause, in, 2, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, pause, in, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, pause. You just continue on your own. Let's go back to your rapid breathing for a little bit. Okay, so right now we're just going to go into a little bit of a breath holding. So if you have any medical conditions, you just do it very, very lightly. Okay, so we're not trying to hold our breath until we pass out or anything like that. Okay, just until we have that first urge to breathe in. Okay, so anytime you just start to feel like you need to breathe, just take a breath. Okay, don't push yourself too much. Okay, so we're still trying to just do a rapid breath, breathing in and out. At the end of the exhale, we're trying to, after you exhale fully, you're just going to hold your breath a little bit, okay, and until you feel that first urge to breathe. Okay, so kind of do it lightly first, so we hold it for 2 to 5 seconds, okay, and then take a breath in through the nose. Okay, so once again, don't hold it for as long as you can. Okay, just hold it until you feel that urge, that first urge. Okay, so we set the chin. Okay, just whenever you're ready, just going to, and then after you exhale, just do a couple of breaths, normal breath in and out for about 10 seconds. Okay, and then until you feel completely back to normal, okay, then we try 1 or 2 more times. Okay, so it's about maybe 3 mini breath holds. So just anytime you're ready, just at your own pace. So I'm just going to kind of say it along as well. So just breathe in, keep breathing out fully. And the exhale, I'm just going to hold. 2, 3, 4, 5. Still trying to breathe in. Okay, if you feel like you need to take a big breath in, you're holding it for too long. This should feel like a kind of a normal, kind of relaxed breathing in. Yeah, so do 2 breaths until you feel back to normal. Still pay attention to my diaphragm, using my expanding. Still breathing out slowly now. exhale, hold for 2, 3, 4, 5. Then relax breath in. Full breath. We like back to normal. Get back to a slower breath. Just repeat one last time. Exhaling. And exhale. Hold for 2, 3, 4, 5. Relax breath in through the nose. So something like this should be safe for most people. For longer breath, you might just have to be a bit more. Okay, so right now let's go into the Qigong. Still going to show this kind of same video, but follow along the arms, just follow as much as you can, but pay more attention to how you're breathing during those things. So you'll see if you can do a lighter breath, do a deeper breath, so use diaphragm, use the ribs, and just slow down as much as you just slow down a little bit. Okay, so it's a fairly yeah, the breathing in is going to speed up, but try to just keep it calm, keep it a little bit slower. Okay, so give me a second while I bring that up. We probably should stand up a little bit first. Okay, pause, give yourself a second, use as much chair as you need for support. Okay, but give yourself some time to just get used to the standing position first, especially if you get a bit busy or like a position. Okay, so if you stand up, just move a little bit, check your surroundings, check that you feel safe moving around. So find chairs around, use the wall, okay, whatever you need. Okay, and just pop your heels a little bit, okay, just to stabilize that blood pressure. Blood pressure tends to drop suddenly when you stand up suddenly, just because the blood is now suddenly going more towards our legs. Okay, so moving your legs sometimes help us to push it back out. Okay, when you're ready, let's kind of follow along here. Hopefully this. Okay, now that's still posture first. Just as low as you can manage. So it's actually a little difficult to control our breathing while it's on the harder. Okay, so I think that's all the time that we have for today. So thank you for coming, everyone. Hope it's useful. Hope everyone have a good day.